Kataksha Kirana Chante Naman Mohabdhaye Namaha Anantananda Krishnaya Jagan Mangala Murtaye Ahamasmi Sada Bhami Kadachinahamapriyaha Brahmaivahamatassidham Satchidananda Lakshanam. The experience of one being happy occasionally is common, universal. However unhappy one is in life in general, one always has moments when one can say one is happy. Now, these moments of happiness reveal me and the world too as adequate, free from any lack or want. In a moment of happiness, I don't see myself as a wanting person, nor I see the world as inadequate, and I have no complaints to make. You cannot say the world is absent when one is happy. That is contradicted by experiences of happiness coming to you in the wake of desirable experiences of the world. When you experience an object which is highly desirable to you, desired by you, or even desirable, not even desired, then you find you are happy, the world is there. So when you enjoy music, or enjoy the stars, or enjoy your beloved, anything, any object of enjoyment proves that to be happy, the world should be absent is not true. And again, to be happy, the senses disappear. You withdraw the senses. That also is not true. Because the senses are open. So you experience something sensorily, and you are happy experiencing them even as you experience. So the world is not absent when one is happy. Senses are not absent when one is happy. The mind is not absent when one is happy. I mean, the mind has not gone to sleep. Mind is awake, sometimes even thinking, sometimes seeing things clearly. So mind is not absent. then nor you are absent, okay? You are not absent. Whatever you are, you need not know Satchidananda or anything. Whatever you are not absent. Your memories must be there. All your problems are all there. Your physical body is not absent. Nothing is absent, really speaking. Okay. You cannot say that you have fixed up the world adequately. No. Still you have complaints about this world. In fact, you have, if God were to give you a chance to give a list of complaints about His creation, you have got a number of things to say to Him. You shouldn't have created these bugs. You must not have created these insects. And what for? What do you achieve by cockroach? Please tell me. But no, mosquitoes at least, okay. They perhaps in your scheme of karma to spread the diseases, to give some pinpricks to people, well, mosquitoes perhaps play a role for you. Because I might have earned such pinpricks in my life, and for which it is your job to give me the karma phala, the result of karma. And so you don't directly come and prick me, and so you create mosquitoes so that they bite me. Okay, I can accept all that. But I don't understand why these cockroaches. What for? They don't, they survive time, I tell you. And so these cockroaches, so how come from the primordial age, this cockroach has been there, I'm told. So what for? They don't really contribute to anybody anything. And now, there are, like this, I have got lot of things to complain. Now, so there is this, and besides other things, so my own creations are there, my own making is there. So I get into situations wherein I find that I've created a Frankenstein I cannot handle at all. So like this, there are many other complaints that I have got. So thus I have not fixed up the world, because the world continues to be the same world about which I have lot of complaints. So thus my children have not changed their headdress, my children, their attitudes, their values, so all continue to be the same. Then again, the world around me, the neighbor has not changed. The neighbor's teenager still has that motorbike, so which comes every night at 12 o'clock with no muffler, you know, that. So a lot of complaints I have got, and it looks as though Reagan is going to again rule the country. And so I have lot of complaints to make. And now I'm afraid, if I'm afraid of this fellow ruling the country again, I'm afraid of the other fellow also. Suppose he comes, what will happen? I don't know. And thus I have a lot of problems about the world. I have not fixed up any one of them. Okay. My own physical body continues to be the same, of which I have complaints to make. So my limitations of my mind, etc., they have not been fixed up. Everything remains the same. All my desires, umpteen of them, they are all there living inside, so they are not fixed up at all. All desires, so all wishes, all of them are there. And some of those skeletons, you know, in the cupboard of my memory, which I don't want to have them at all, they are still remaining there. So they do walk out, you know. These skeletons have got a knack of opening the doors of memory and come out, you know. They are all in the storage. And so they all, so open the cupboard and then walk across my mind, and they have got here. And they also walk across at times when I don't want them to walk across, like in meditation, etc. And so these, they have such skeletons are there. Means none of them is removed, those things are not removed. This is a peculiar situation. Now in spite of all these going, nothing is fixed up. And if I could have my way, I can fix up all of them, just like that, by you know, with the magic wand, I should be able to fulfill all of them. By clicking my fingers, so with the grace of some God, I can fulfill all of them. There is no such thing. And I don't think I will ever be able to fulfill all of them. When this is so, everything remains the same. The world remains the same. Senses are there, body is there, back pain is there, mind is there, everything is there. And my limitation of knowledge still is there. I don't understand what you call this binary, etc. I don't understand 0 and 1. So you do. So a lot of things I do not understand. But still, with all my ignorance going, all my problems remaining, I find I am happy. Understand? I am happy. There is reason enough to be unhappy. Okay? There is reason enough for one to be unhappy. There is no reason to be happy. In fact, there is no reason to be happy. Then only you can be happy. If there is reason to be unhappy, well, we have got enough of them. Understand now? I can give you any number of reasons. Why I am unhappy, anybody can give a number of reasons. And thus, so the list can never be complete. A number of reasons can be advanced to prove why you are unhappy. But can you give one reason that makes you happy, because of which you say, I am happy? One reason. You cannot say, the world makes you happy. You can't say, because the very world makes you unhappy. The very world makes you unhappy. You can't say the world makes you happy. Any object, you cannot say it makes me happy. So my child makes me happy. Well, wait. And so you cannot say the child makes me happy. The very child can become a source of unhappiness too. So if there is a problem for the child, it makes you unhappy. Well, therefore, so you cannot say that any one object makes me happy. You can never pinpoint. There is no you can never give a reason that this makes me happy, because such object being a source of happiness, well, is not there. When I put a sugar cube in my cup of coffee, the bitter coffee turns sweet. Similarly, if there should be some object in whose contact I should just become, no more pulling long face, I become wide and very happy. There should be some such object. There is no such object. Sometimes it is a great despair for you, so you think it's a wonderful thing, and you say, and you want to share your joy with another fellow, and then the other fellow, you give that, whatever it is, you share with that fellow, and he is so cold and he says, it's okay, it's interesting. And so like this, you think that you have invented something or you discovered something. For the other fellow, it means nothing. And so this is then just for politeness sake or the etiquette's sake, that's nice and all that. You can even see, even when he says nice and he's nice to you, then you know that he's just nice to me. He doesn't really enjoy. People have got that sense somehow. So unless the other fellow can really pose himself, he's a good actor. Other fellow. Otherwise, you can very easily figure out. Children can figure out. Well, therefore, so you may think that it is a source of joy. The other one doesn't think so. Any situation, I've told you, that is the reason why. So when when one fellow is happy getting rid of something, the other fellow is happy getting hold of the same thing, what you got rid of. That is why transactions are there. One fellow wants to sell, the other fellow wants to buy. The buyer feels happy, and seller also is happy. The buyer feels happy that he got it for a song. The seller feels happy that he got a song from that idiot. And so he thinks that the other fellow, he is very smart and he got a song. Well, therefore, you cannot say any one object in the world makes you happy. There is no reason. Nor happiness cannot be an attribute of an object. In the world, please understand this, it's the only aspect I have not so far told. In the world, there is no object which we can call as happiness. Like sugar is sweet, like the salt crystal is salt, so too, and the chili is hot. You can't say this is happiness. You cannot say. One object to tell me. There are chemicals, there are varieties of minerals, metals, etc. So one of them is called happiness. There is no such object in the world. No one object. There are varieties of fruits, none of them is happiness. There is no object called happiness. Nor it is an attribute. Attribute means, so there is an object, so one object is a happy object. You can say, there are human beings, all are unhappy, and this fellow is happy human being. You cannot say that. How do you know that he is a happy human being? No, I see him smiling. This is dangerous, I tell you. In India, in Kerala, there is a place, in the south, there is a state called Kerala. Near the western part of Kerala, called Calicut, that area, Mangalore, Calicut, that area, above Kerala. And you simply ask him a simple question. Sir, when did you come? I came yesterday. Did you have your lunch? I have not yet eaten. When are you going? Tomorrow. What is there to laugh? I don't understand this. So what is there to laugh? When did you come? Yesterday. So any question the fellow answers with a big laughter and smile, etc. That is how the fellow was brought up. There people generally answer like that. So if you think that the fellow is happy, you are mistaken. So he has got his own problems to come. Then he comes to me also. Swamiji, so when did you come? Yesterday. So what for? I want to listen to you. Why? You seem to be very happy. No, Swamiji, no. Then what? The fellow is just, that's only a way of talking. You can never figure out when the other fellow is happy or not. How do you know? Swamiji, you are happy all the time. How do you know? How do you know? We Swamis are specially trained to... How do you know? We can always pose ourselves to be happy. What a big deal about? What is the big deal? We can always just as though we are happy all the time. When all of you go away, I shut my door and put my head, bury my head in the door. Under the pillow I cry. How do you know? I cry every day. That I have to teach all this every day. When this will all start? It starts at 6:30, I have to get up at 5:30, and then when this, I've been doing this for 17 years or 20 years, so when will this all end? My God, is there a way out for me? Day in and day out, how many talks? 1, 2, 3, 4, how many people? What varieties of people? What kind of problems? My God, what kind of life you have given me? What are my styles? How do you know that I don't cry? How do you know? Swamiji, whenever I see you are happy, that's how I am trained. When I'm out, go. You can never say happiness is an attribute of an object. No. It is not a discernible attribute like a blue jeans. Blue jeans in blue color. Blue is the attribute. Adjective. Like that I cannot say, so it is like a white shirt or blue jeans. You cannot say the Swami is like, happy Swami or happy something. You cannot say. Like a hot sauce. You can't say. Or blue cheese. You cannot such thing. You cannot say. Okay? Neither it is an object. There is no one object which you can go and buy, when you buy a lot of things in the grocery shop, and then you cannot buy a pocket of happiness. So you give me $10 happiness, You don't know what it is. That is why $10 happiness, like gas, fill up $10, and so here, give me $10 happiness. There is no such thing. What will he give? Suppose you ask a shopkeeper and ask him, give me $10 happiness. What will he give? What will he give? Unless between you there is an understanding. $10 happiness means, so that fellow sells some drugs, okay? And so, and he calls it happiness. There is no such thing as an object called happiness in the world. There is no such thing as an attribute of an object, happiness being an attribute of an object. There is no such situation. There is no place can be called happiness, because you can't say one particular place is happiness means in any other place you won't be happy. Every place you find yourself, so any place you can be happy. Any place. So if you get used to hell, then also you will be happy and happy. Today temperature is down. And so there again, so they maintain the temperature, all the time. It cannot be. If it is all the time, then there is no problem. You will get conditioned. Either you will get reduced ashes, then there is no problem. And if you remain there, then definitely you will get conditioned. You will have a body which is heat-proof, I'm sure. Something must be there, And so you can never say that there is a particular place which is called happiness. You cannot say, that means anywhere else I won't be happy. That's not true. Okay? All right. No place is happiness. Perhaps a particular direction. East is happiness. West is unhappiness. You find all the east is here. And some west also goes to the east. And in fact, east goes to the west, west goes to the east. That only proves the point that it is neither in the east nor in the west. You think that India is happiness. Okay? India is happiness. Go there, you will find out. Only when you come away, it looks India is wonderful. When you are there, mosquitoes don't make you think that it is wonderful. And then you come away. And therefore, you can't say east is happiness. You just remove all visa, immigration problems, all these rules. You remove that. Lift all that. You will find all Indians are here. Don't think they are there just because they love India. They will all be here, except a few fellows, they will all be here. Yeah, they will swim the Atlantic or Pacific and come. They don't have money. There is no such thing. India is happiness. Oh, West is happiness. That is not true. You know it better. And therefore, so it is neither in the west or east, nor in the north or south. No direction is happiness. Only particular time is happiness. Friday evening, 5 o'clock. Friday, 5 o'clock, happiness. No? Not every Friday, 5 o'clock. Two things are there in this. Friday, 5 o'clock may be happy, but sometimes Monday also you are happy. Sometimes Tuesday also you are happy. Or sometimes on the same Friday evening, morning also you are happy. Or Friday, 5 o'clock also you can be unhappy because you can't go out. You have no money for weekend. It's a very big thing. What is the use of working for a week without a weekend? People all live by weekends only. In fact, my whole life is only 2/7 of my life. So 5/7 I work, 2/7 I enjoy. 5/7 I work, 2/7 I enjoy. And therefore, so that is how people think anyway. Without weekend, no week is made. So how can you say that weekend, 5 o'clock Friday need not necessarily, one should be happy. Okay? Then what? Time, one particular time is not happiness, particular place is not happiness, direction is not happiness, it is neither above nor below, then where it is? There is no question of where, what it is. There is no question of what. And therefore, so to what does it stick? There is no question of an object enjoying the attribute of happiness. And therefore, in fact, the probability of being unhappy is more than the probability of being happy, because there is no such thing as happiness anywhere, anyway. What will you do? Now, you can't say, Swami, happiness is not outside, let us finish this. So he is inside. You know, this is what they call, there are three words generally. You see, one is called bhogi. You better know this word. So bhogi. He's a bhogi. He's a bhogi. Okay? The other is yogi. Okay? The other is yogi. Bhogi and yogi. Who is a bhogi? The bhogi is one who believes happiness is outside. And he goes out. He paints the town red. That guy is the one who thinks, so he's a go-getter and wants to gather things and wants to enjoy. That guy is bhogi. The other one is yogi. He thinks, yogi means in this particular sense, yogi is generally, we call this yogi. Who is yogi? The one who withdraws the senses, and so he withdraws all the activities and lives a very what you call a very well-disciplined life, and enjoys, tries to discover happiness by manipulating his mind, his thoughts, etc. So that fellow who works for a samadhi, happiness, so he is yogi. He thinks it is inside. Now it is inside. I would like to know, inside means inside the body. Poor body is not the source of happiness anyway. So inside the body means, so the liver and kidney is not source of happiness, much less the heart pumps happiness into your system. And so the lungs don't breathe happiness. They breathe air and bugs together. And so the lungs don't breathe happiness inside your system. So what is happiness then? Inside means, you mean the mind. If you say it is a mind, then I can understand. The mind means, well, the mind is there, happiness is. The mind is not, happiness is not. Therefore, so the mind is happiness. Okay, that's neat. But now look, when the sorrow is, mind is or not. When sorrow is, mind is or not. Mind is. So when sorrow is, mind is, senses are, body is, mother-in-law is, world is. Mother-in-law means world. The world is, everything is. Everything is. And when you are happy also, mind is, senses are, body is, world is. And therefore, what these things have got to do with happiness? Because when sorrow is, all these are present. When happiness is, all these are present. So when both of them are present, so all these items are present in both the situations. When I am happy, all these are present. When I am unhappy, all these are present. Therefore, because of the presence of one gets happiness. Because of the absence of the other, one becomes, absence of the same, one becomes what you call unhappiness or happiness. You can never say that, because it is common. I am also there when there is sorrow. I am also there when I am happy, when there is happiness. Everything is there, the whole set is there. Nothing escapes. But still I become happy. Then where do I see this happiness? What is absent? Now therefore look here. So one fellow is yogi. The yogi is one who thinks it is inside. Now what I am going to say, and the fellow who can neither be happy inside or outside, we call him one more word if you want, he's called a rogi. Rogi means he is ill, okay? And so, don't worry. You see here, this is it's a thing to be very clearly seen. So I is what I said, Atma. Okay? I is there. Then the mind is there. Then senses are there. Senses are there. Then the world is there. You know, the world. World means, don't think, the whole world. Anything you objectify, the world is there. Now, this set is there when you are unhappy. When I am unhappy, when Atma is unhappy, there is all these are there. When Atma is happy, all these are there. All these are there. Therefore, so that what makes the difference? What makes the difference when all these are there when I am happy? Enjoying world is music. The world is toys. World is a cartoon. Just a simple cartoon. So it can be anything. The world is just a smile, morning smile. People are like tea bags. How is that? Because you know their strength when they are in hot water. Well, therefore, so the world is there as a tea bag. That particular tea bag doesn't make you happy. Hot water doesn't make you happy. People don't make you happy, but the twist makes you happy. That particular twist, whatever. And so the world, anything can make you happy anytime. World is there. Any one thing that makes you happy, the world is there, a cartoon, a twisted logic or whatever. So you find, so it may amuse us. What is a slapstick joke? Pure amusement. And how does it take place? Something happens here, All that fellow has got a stick. It is a slapstick. It makes some noise when he slaps. And so it's a slapstick. And with this stick in circus, the clowns, they come, and this fellow comes, and then he slaps the guy with the slapstick. He slaps the other guy at the wrong place at the right time. So at the wrong place at the right time. So when he slaps, then you find you all have to laugh. So he does this, he goes around clowning, and everybody has to laugh. There is no way. Something happens here, because they are unusual. Really, I always try to understand the slapstick joke. It's a very unusual thing it is. So something unusual is happening. It is amusing. It is something that you don't expect, the unexpected, suddenly. And it is not a tragedy, therefore you are happy. The unusual can be tragedy too. And so here, so it is comic, it is, and you are happy. Whatever. So by a quirk of logic, a turn of some event, you find you become happy. World is there. What I say, the clown is there. There is the clown here. The world is the clown. He makes you happy. The world is your baby. Or neighbor's baby better. Your baby, always you've got a problem. And so because my baby, therefore a problem. So neighbor's baby, we are always happy, because you need not babysit. You need not take care. My baby means you can be unhappy also, in the sense, well, there is a lot of anxiety. So if a child or whatever, so the world is there, senses are there, mind is there, I is there, this is all that is there in the world anyway. That really matters. And so, all are there. If you put the whole thing differently, cells are there, DNA is there, I don't mind all of that. So what I say, so these things are there, and you find you are happy. When you are unhappy, the world is there, and everything is there, you become unhappy. So what is it? What is it that has come? What is it that has gone? Is it because of a new arrival, something you become happy? Or it is because of a departure, you are happy? Either it should be due to some element that has arrived, or some element that was there which has disappeared. Well, you should become happy. Either because of the arrival or departure, so you become happy, tell me. I would say by departure. Something has departed. What has departed? The world is not departed. Senses are not gone. The mind is not gone. Atma, of course, cannot go. Atma doesn't go. I is not gone. I awareness is not gone. Known or unknown, Atma is there. Everything is there. But something here with reference to I has gone. With reference to I, something has gone. What? One thing, when you are happy, one thing is absent. You cannot say, I am unhappy. You cannot say. That no sense of being, I am wanting, the sense of inadequacy, the sense of want, isolation. In other words, the seeker sought isolation. The seeker sought isolation. The first day I told you, the seeker and the sought, this isolation is not there. The world is there, everything is there, but the seeker sought isolation is not there. Suppose the world is object. Now here you want, as a person, you want this object to be entirely different. You don't like this object. You don't want this object to be like this. You want this to be different. Then what will happen? You become necessarily unhappy. But when you are happy, what happens is there is absence of the seeker-sought division. I am not as a whole here. I am not a seeker. So seeker and the world is sought. Now, so the seeker-sought division is there. Any moment, at any time, I want what I confront, what I think, what I confront, what I see. So if I want that to be in any way, so what you call desired, if it leaves anything to be desired, what I confront leaves anything to be desired. If I confront my body, think of my body, and it leaves a lot to be desired. If I confront my mind and it leaves a lot to be desired. So if I confront my knowledge, it leaves a lot to be desired. I confront my memories, it leaves a lot to be desired. I confront my wife, she leaves a lot to be desired. Whenever I confront, whatever I confront the object, if that object is looked upon by me that everything is not well with it, I become a seeker with reference to the object. Therefore, there is no fusion between subject and object. There is only division of my being a seeker, and the object become the sought. It can happen to your own beloved child, with reference to your beloved child. You love the child, all right, but you want the child to behave a little better. But then the child does not know your language anyway. Nor does it think that such a behavior is the right thing. It doesn't know anyway. And it also wants, it has got its own small wishes and small desires and things like that. Doesn't want to get up when you want the child to get up. And doesn't want to go around along with you when you want the child to go with you. Well, so this you can say shut up and all that. You can cry and shout and scream because you become impatient, and afterwards you slap sometimes, and afterwards you regret, I think I shouldn't have done this. It all is with reference to any object. The same, it is not because you don't love or you are not affectionate or you don't care. In fact, you look upon the child as a source of your fulfillment. It is an expression of yourself. In the child you see everything, but at the same time, well, it becomes a matter for concern and anxiety. Because I become impatient, I become, with reference to the child I love, I become a seeker. It happens in any relationship. If you want the object is no more the object you confront and you are in love with and you enjoy it, you are in love with the object, and this love necessarily, so if it doesn't have any strings, the object is accepted as it is, and there is love, you find there is no seeker, there is no sought, there is only I, there is object, there is nothing more is proved there. Nothing else is there. I is there, object is there, mind is there, senses are there to connect I and O, the object and the Atma, and both are connected. In between, there is no let or hindrance to create a division. There is no line drawn. All that is there is whole. The whole blessed thing becomes one whole it is. Doesn't it? There is nothing. This is what they say. This is the experience of anybody says, I am in unison with the world. What does it mean? So not that, were you not in union with the world before? In fact, the world that makes you unhappy, in fact, you were in union. So in fact, inextricably you were attached to that. So the same world you have been in union with. Anything you confront, you are in union with. You see means the object is there which is within your awareness. It means you are already in touch with the whole thing. It is never outside the scope of you, the perceiver, the knower. And therefore, so this subject-object, they rise together in fact. And therefore, that I assume the status of subject because there is object. Therefore, this dyad, the subject-object, so-called subject-object, so rises together. I myself become the subject when I confront an object. It is there. And so the union has always been there with the world. Only thing is, sometimes, more often than not, so with reference to the world, I am seeker sought. Demander demanded. Wisher wished. You know, I wish it was different. As long as that is there, you find there is always a division. You find it is cause for sorrow. That is what we call Dvaita. Udaram antaram kurute atatasya bhayam bhavati. In this subject-object, you make any small division. Udaram antaram kurute. Ut api. So aram, alpam, antaram vedam kurute. So even alpam api, solpam api vedam kurute asmin. He says, adatasya bhayam bhavati. There is fear for that fellow, the one who makes a small fraction of a division between subject and object. So if you look upon the subject as something isolated from the object because you want the object to be different, by wishing it to be different, you only prove that you are not at home with yourself. You understand that? It is not just wishing to be different. So it is isolation. I want that to be different in order that I would be comfortable. It is not just for a change, you want a change just for the love of change. But it is a change which is a must for me. So without that change, I am uncomfortable with reference to the object. And therefore, the division is there. The seeker-sought division is there. When there is seeker-sought division, there is the presence of what I would say, isolation. The sense of inadequacy, the sense of isolation, and that makes you unhappy and frightened too. Ata tasya bhayam bhavati. Tasya, for him, tata then bhayam bhavati. There is fear. Fear of isolation. You become small. And the world seems to overwhelm you. It doesn't behave as you want. It doesn't behave exactly you want. And you want everything to behave properly, you know. The temperature must be always the same. There should be no summer, no winter, everything always so 60 degrees or whatever you want, always it should be so. So there is no such thing. The world, things are changed. They have to change. There is all the reason for it also. And so the isolation, any kind of demand on my part with reference to a situation And a demand is a real demand in the sense, it is not a demand just for change's sake, it is a demand for my sake, madartham. It is not amadartham. Madartham, for my sake. If such a demand is there, definitely you stand isolated from the world. This is how generally I live my life all through. And do you know what happens? At one time, the clown here, the clown, I mean clown stands for any moment of joy. The clown here makes you forget what? How inadequate you are. How inadequate you are, he makes you forget. And what all things you want in the world about yourself, about the body, mind, etc., what all things you require, all these somehow that clown makes you forget. Or a verse makes you forget. A sentence makes you forget. A beautiful scene striking makes you forget. Or somebody say, I love you, and you make sure that you really, the person is serious, then you feel very happy. Do you know why? Do you know why? When somebody says, I love you, you are doubtful first. Do you know why? Why are you doubtful? When people tell me, Swamiji, I love you, I said, okay, that's fine. Okay, because I am lovable. Why should you not love me? What did I do to you? Why should you not love me? What is wrong with me? Just I am very funny. That itself is a lovable thing. So I look very funny. So why should I not? Why should you not love me? That's why I am never surprised if somebody tells me I love you. I am never surprised. Because I love myself. I don't find myself in any way lacking. I find I am fine. I am a good performer. Look at me. And so I love myself. So I am never surprised, I tell you, I am never surprised if somebody says, well, Swami, you are like, oh, that's right, that's true. In fact, I say it like that. That's fine. Thanks, I don't say. It doesn't come to me. Thanks, because just you love me, then why should I say thanks? You tell me now. Yeah, I don't understand that. So somebody says, Swamiji, we love you. Thank you. What? Why? Well, what did you do to me? What did you do to me for my thanking you? You didn't do anything to me. Why should I thank you? So, Swamiji, I love you. That is natural. You should love. What is there big thanks? There's nothing there to thank. If you tell me, Swamiji, so I appreciate what you did. I say thank you. Or something, whatever, okay? There is something, you open the door, I say thank you. You make a cup of coffee, I say thank you. That's all okay. But Swamiji, I love you means what? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. And that is natural, unless I have doubts. If I think that I am not lovable, then I will thank you. Not only I will thank you, I will make inquiries to you and say, really? I become very serious. Really? Do you think? Do you really love me? Oh, I become very serious. I become a different fellow now. Really? Then I always wonder, I am lovable. I go and stand before the mirror also and say, I am lovable. Somebody loves me. Why that person loves me? Wonderful. Why? Because you yourself don't stand yourself. And somebody says, as you are lovable. It is news to me. It is news, an elevating news, an ennobling news, a self-redounding news, and therefore I feel 10 feet tall. Did you hear that song? Somebody said, first time when I heard somebody, I love you, that fellow, it seems he grew 10 feet tall. I heard a song. You feel 10 feet tall. Suddenly, because you never thought that you were such a fellow. That there is on the earth, there is somebody who can say, I love you. You never thought so. How can you ever think? In fact, so if somebody says, I love you, you begin to wonder, how come? That is why I told you so many times, that is the reason why you always try to fish out what made you love me. What did you see in me after 10 years? So still they will ask this question, what originally so made you love me? That means afterwards you hang on to me, that's a different thing. What So that is, I don't know whether you hang on to me or I hang on to you, but what originally made you love me? What did you see in me? You want to know. Why? I'm not sure. I can't stand myself. There is no other tragedy in the world. I understand this for certain. There is only one tragedy in the world. Every other tragedy I can face. There is only one tragedy. That is, I can't stand myself. When I open my eyes, the whole world isolates me. And when I close my eyes, I stand isolated. I can't stand myself. Open my eyes, the world is always overwhelmingly big, and it seems to really so threat to me. It seems to be a threat and snare and a trap for me. Or it becomes an object of jealousy, or hate, or anger. It is the world. World means you are the people with whom you live, or situations that you confront, the office or whatever, the job or what, anything. That is all the world is about. So, and inside I am isolated. And this, but one good thing about you is, that's why we say God is great. The Maker is great. He gave you one thing, you know. He gave you a capacity for your mind to suspend everything for the time being. It is a tremendous, it is a clear thing, you know, in computer like. You know, you can ask for only one thing, and everything else is stored. Only that is predominant at this time, only one information. Otherwise there will be confusion. There will be no information, there will be noise. It should be only one thing. And here also, so thus you find that you can, this capacity on your part and the part of your mind to suspend all your likes and dislikes. For the time being, to give up. If that capacity is not there, there will be no situation which will make you happy. For all your likes and dislikes, no situation can make you happy unless you are enlightened. I tell you. And so to get enlightened, you must be available first. If no situation can make a fellow happy, you won't survive. The fellow will commit suicide. And the capacity is what, that's why Lord Krishna says, Mattaha smritir jnanam apokhanam. He says, all apokhanam. The Lord says apokhanam means forgetfulness is also because of me. Memory is because of me. Knowledge is because of me. And so that apokhanam, that forgetfulness is an amazing thing it is. Therefore, don't complain, Swamiji, I am forgetful. You are blessed. Okay? But remember a few things, that you have eaten your lunch and breakfast. These things you should remember. But then, there are a few things, you know. Memory is very beautiful. But then, forgetfulness is equally beautiful. Is equally beautiful. And so, that forgetfulness makes me, what? Completely erase the seeker-sought relationship. For the time being, until I remember. That's why it's called forgetfulness. Understand? So until I remember, and I will remember, and I'm capable of remembering, because I don't know what I am anyway. And therefore, when there is such a self-forgetfulness, absence of yourself, the seeking self, the demanding self, the isolated self, the panting and fretting about, fuming self, so this volcano self, you know, so this self is for the time being forgotten because of an overwhelming situation. A situation that is able to please you. You means your likes and dislikes mind. Your likes and dislikes. So are pleased for the time being. That is why when for a joke, when some people laugh, the other fellow looks at them. What is the big thing that has happened? You all laugh. And so he looks at them, very grinning, because that's a very cheap joke. Or he didn't understand the joke at all. And so, so that's what I say, that everything may not please you, but you have your sellout, you have got your own thing is there. So you buy certain things like others buy certain things. Everyone has his bait, all right. Nibbles, all right. So you nibble a particular bait and you're hooked, all right. Then you find, well, don't take the example too much. So certain things you buy, and because your likes and dislikes are peculiar. And there is a joy. And that moment, what happens is, there is no arrival of anything. There is no arrival of anything. Nothing has arrived, really speaking. The world has not arrived, mind has not arrived, senses have not arrived, Atma has not arrived. Previously it was, now also it is. Something has gone out of me. And what has gone out of me is only my remembrance of my being an isolated person, that particular sense of isolation, that carving out of the universe. So I have carved out, so out of the universe, an entity, a self-seeking entity with its own history, with its own biography, with its own problems, this isolation of an iceberg in the ocean. So that has melted for the time. There is joy. For the moment there is joy. When there is joy for the moment, then the question is, then how long this will joy continue? Well, it all depends when will you remember yourself. Therefore, all my lifetime, I work for self-forgetfulness. Do you know why, therefore? You can now see why the familiar a thing becomes, it doesn't help you at all. You always seek pastures new. Because the other side is always greener. The cows, even the human beings, I think. So when, I don't know whether the cows see the color, I must be able to see the grass there more. When you look from this distance, so there you find it is all grass and grass, so much grass. You go there, this side that you left is more grass. The other side is always green. You always seek pastures new because you are already tired of the familiar. It is a particular frame of mind it is. You make everything familiar. Once you make familiar a thing, it becomes monotonous. Once it is monotonous, you can't stand yourself. And because it is not able to, what is monotonous? Something that does not make you forget yourself. And therefore it is monotonous. Yesterday is today means you are yesterday fellow is still there. And therefore it becomes monotonous. But when you have an appetite, it is not monotonous. The same food every day, this fellow, day after day for lunch he eats his hot dog. But then it doesn't become monotonous because there is appetite. As long as you have appetite, no problem, it is monotonous. So you can eat the same tofu, so but still you find as long as appetite is there, you find the food is not monotonous. The appetite is. Anyway, therefore, so you always first you seek something fresh and new. Why? With reference to which you can be fresh, because that old mind you have. What mind? The childhood mind, which is that mind remains even today. The mind that was there when you were a child, always exploring, always just trying to find out. Your mind like a deer, just listening to some noise in the jungle, in the forest, how alert it is. What's happening? The ears are all pricked like this, like this, you all listen. Similarly, you have like Carl Lewis, let us say, and the fellow is starting for the sprint, okay? For the 100-meter dash. What he should be thinking, tell me. What that fellow should be thinking. Eh? No, means, is he concentrating on anything? They say he's in great concentration. There is no concentration, I tell you. Concentration only when your mind is centered on something. There is nothing he centered. In fact, the one who can keep the mind clean, neat, for the sound to happen, that fellow will get the start. He will get the start. If he concentrates on anything, in 100-meter dash, I tell you, you lose. However, you are great. Even Carl Lewis, if that guy loses his start, he had it. If he has a bad start, Some little delay is there, it's a split-second delay, he can make up because the fellow has acceleration. And if a fellow loses the start, that's it. He loses. He loses the race. But at that moment, there is a very fresh and neat mind. And similarly, we all have that mind. When we were young, we had that mind. Even today, that mind is available. And when it is available, when something fresh, something arrests my attention, some new scene, suddenly when you go, so on the mountains, so you want to see this particular place, you are driving on the mountains, and suddenly, so the mountain, when you turn, one big turn and you find it opens up, a valley opens up, suddenly beautiful, that is spontaneous. You simply say, wow. That's the mind. That is a fresh mind, which something captures, something fresh captures. That's why you always try to go to some places where what will you see? You want to see beauty there? No, I want to see beauty here. I want to see beauty here. And therefore I walk, I go all over, I have to cross the Pacific and go to the islands, I go to Hawaii or Caribbean, somewhere I should go Atlantic or this, I have to cross mountains, I have to cross oceans, for what? Just to forget myself. Think of that, very costly. Very costly. That's why any technique doesn't work in this. Because anything, any manipulation that you do is only meant for self-forgetfulness. Therefore, I make the unfamiliar familiar, and then again work for the unfamiliar. And then once the unfamiliar becomes familiar, I want the unfamiliar. Oh my God. Like hit songs, The hit songs in your cupboard. So that's why they are called hit songs. A hit song is a hit song like a hit man. It hits all the songs out of the market. He's a hit song. And afterwards what happened? He's a hit song. And so he also goes. Some other hit song has come. And so it's a hit song. If I'm unfamiliar, becomes familiar. Everybody does now. So I find all children. So now these are days of Michael Jackson. I never heard of him when I was here last year. Really, I didn't know anything about it. Suddenly I see a report from Pravda. You know Pravda? That Russian report. That Michael Jackson is a fellow who is what you call, who is supporting the capitalists and bureaucrats and all that. So this Russian report, where they're criticizing Michael Jackson. I said, who is this Michael Jackson? Suddenly Russia takes notice of this fellow. Who is this fellow? Really, I didn't know anything about this guy. After coming here, I find everywhere Michael Jackson. And I went to Thunder Bay. I was staying in somebody's place, and this boy's room. So, there is a youngster, and his room it is. He's about 15 or 14, and his room. I occupied his room, and life-size Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, like a mirror house. Wherever I think. Morning I wake up, Michael Jackson. And I asked that fellow, what is that fellow? What is this? He's a guru or what? And here's my photograph also. Small photograph in the corner. True, I tell you, true. Our Ravi, Nampal is Ravi. And he has got my photograph also, he keeps it in a corner. And I asked that fellow, I say, why don't you make a good size photograph and keep along with Michael Jackson? New, quite new. This society is amazing. It's amazing. It starts with your shirt on. So this year you'll find all check shirts, all check, all check, gone, that is gone. Now it's all stripes, gone. Then something comes. So So in fact, some of these Indian exporters, the people who import from India, so they go crazy. They import, they import the shirts and all that. By the time they come here, the Indian ships or whatever, all these problems, by the time they come here, the shipment, the fashion is gone, he's stuck with 1,000 shirts. Really? They all become paupers. Every one of them tells me, Swamiji, this textile business, my God, it is such a touch and go. It's impossible. Can't, because they change so quickly. I don't know what do they do with all the older things. They must be keeping piling them up, I suppose. And so it changes because familiar. Do you know why? More excitement and more nothing to fall back upon. There is nothing to fall back upon. So you have to always look for something exciting. So, because when you nothing is exciting means then you confront yourself. That is tragedy. You can't confront yourself. Therefore, you must have some sense stimulation. All the time some stimulation must be there. Even music, I cannot just relax and fall back and then listen. It has to be active music. It's active music. There is no music, really speaking. It is purely rhythm. One good thing about a human being is that he can appreciate rhythm. Whether he is an aborigine or he is any tribal or a cultured man, a rhythm he can always appreciate. When there is a regular beat is there, there is some rhythm is there. You can get into the rhythm of it. And that's simple music. It is not music, really speaking. A part of music. Laya is layam it is called. In that mind can absorb. The time is called, the beat is called layam in Sanskrit. That's all what is there. Simple layam. Simple, and there is no manipulations also in laya. In Indian music we manipulate time. It's all mathematical. So they manipulate time also. But here is a simple beat. The same thing. Taka, 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 taka. So goes on and the same. And you find all of them begin to sway. So hold the sway. Very simple. Exactly. Because lack of culture. Understand? It is lack of culture. Better confront that. It is lack of culture. Culture means you should know how to fall back upon. And you require leisure inside. You should enjoy yourself or enjoy the world without much of excitement. That is culture. You should sit on a chair and take a book and just read and enjoy. Like that is called culture. That makes a home too. And otherwise you are always out. You are out all the time. It's a very important thing. So that's why even children, as you make them grow, you should make them see the value of culture. That's called education. That's growth. Not all the time it is something, so either you are skiing or you are skate rolling or you are doing one thing or the other. So all excitement from childhood. This is that only just makes you a wreck before you are 25. A psychological wreck. No Swami can do anything. Such a permanent damage, my God, nothing can be done. But you are all different, okay? And so don't worry, just I want you to understand. There is nothing, no problem. What I say, that forgetfulness, you work for forgetfulness, so costly, self-forgetfulness. A cultured man, he can forget very easily without excitement. A wise man doesn't require to forget. Then what? All that he has got to is know. He has got to know. You forget the isolated being in order to be happy. Because when you forget the isolated being, the one who is there, that is the true being. There is a fullness that is there, that fullness is you. That fullness is called Ananda. Therefore, Atma is Ananda. Now this Ananda is denied to you because of ignorance. And then you require a situation in the world or somewhere in order to make you forget your own notion. When the notion is gone, you are Ananda. When your notion comes, the ocean of difference, Ananda becomes dukkha. It becomes unhappy. And therefore, it is that whenever you are happy, you remember you are yourself. Therefore, that self, you see at the time of your being happy, is yourself. It is not that has come, something is gone. Okay? And what is gone is not real. What is inspired, when it is there, when there was a sense of limitation, I was there. And the sense of limitation is gone, I is there. And this is real. That is why he says, the Sat and Chit and Ananda, Ahamasmi sada bhami, kadachin naham apriyaha, atasiddham aham brahma satchida ananda lakshanam. The limitlessness is the meaning of the word Ananda. Limitlessness is my nature, which I experience when there is no sense of limitation. Dividing me and the world, then the absence of division is what they call Advaita. And that is experientially gained by everyone. Therefore, Atma, Satchidananda, I say, you'll see tomorrow further. Okay?